Well, hello guys, and welcome again to another FSE live stream. I did promise a Zebra at some point, however, with the issues with the most recent one, I haven't tried the most recent one, so um, I was hoping that he'd get the update out today. Maybe we'll fly again in it later. But anyway, this is effectively my second trip. I did a little trip in this last night just to test it out. But this is the SR22 from HoldMyBeer, which is completely free. And it's a brilliant bit of kit. So I would suggest, every time I go onto the other monitor that comes up quickly. Right, I would suggest that you get this. It's about 1 gig, but it's well good. Hello mate, good to see you again. So everything's loaded up. Unfortunately, we have got some ATC coverage. So this again, it could be an IFR flight direct to Yeovilton. It's 126 nautical miles at 75% power. It should take 46 minutes at 4,000 feet. And we actually avoid controlled airspace for the whole route. So we could technically do this without speaking to anyone. I filed it IFR, but it's a severe VMC day, so I might just start up. London North is online, but I'm not sure I fancy talking to anyone here. I might just do a Unicom here and then call up en route. So let's see how that goes. I think I've got everything done. Yes, I'll try this out, and if I do end up keeping it, I mean, I might just donate anyway. So yeah, I think they've done an amazing job. So well done them. And to release it for free for donations as well is even better. FS Economy seems to be running good. Project Fly is running, so I should show up on there as well. And X-Plane and Active Sky are running the QNH 1017 from Active Sky. That might take a moment or two to update. Hello, Rick. So yeah, so we have to go in to get rid of everything. So weight and balance here. We can leave the chocks in. We can get rid of the covers, get rid of the tie downs, get rid of the shield. Then we can see, which is great. Normally you'd set your payload up and everything here. Obviously we're going to let FSE do that. I am going to pop the GPU on just so we don't end up discharging the batteries. Settings wise, HPA, disable SSAO, tablet on startup, position right. Where does it go if you do that? Oh Christ, don't like that. That's, put that back. It took me ages yesterday to find out where to stick the damn key. Display performance, I have no idea what that's about. I should probably figure this out. Meta source. Oh, even better. Rain effects, fine. Use fuel from both tanks I turned off. So yeah, it's pretty well modeled if you ask me. We have to. Now, how did I get the lights on yesterday? Good question. Interior lights, there we go. That has not helped. Okay, maybe it helped a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit dark in here. I mean, I think if I bought one, I'd hope that they would do an interior that was a little less dark, for want of a better word. We can get the battery on, and you can see here, pumps, ice protection, windshield, pitot heats, lighting, alternators, avionics. We've got ground power, so we can get the avionics on. Do we have 1337 is on standby, that's powering up. We want Daventry tuned 1146 here. And we're not going to pick that up just yet, but hopefully we do soon. We can get rid of that caution. Oil pressure. Now there is a checklist on here, I haven't done it. Just be honest. Both of those move full and free. And the key you have to get out from here, that took me ages to figure out. There it is. You have to put your old headset on. Don't know if that stops the things from working. And then up here you have to open this, remove that. I think you can pop it back for the old parachute system. So, have a look from the outside. It's a pretty mean looking machine. I'd love to have a go at one in reality. They are the best selling GA aircraft of, I'm not going to say all time, but certainly of the last 10 years. And you can see why. So we'll aim for a 75% power cruise and see what we get. It should be about 160 knots. If not, we'll figure it out. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to talk to London initially, because I'm not quite sure how far London goes up. But we might have a chat to them. They're the only ones that are on Manchester South. So Manchester approach, Gatwick approach, and Thames radar are on. But we are, let me just talk you through the route. You can have a look at, I can't get the map up, sorry, because I'm using Skydemon again. We're going to go direct to Daventry, and then we're going to be 220. It's going to take us just to the north of Brize, pretty much directly over Fairford. There is one NOTAM en route for parachuting at Little Rislington, and we should be underneath that. We're technically in the mats here at Wittering, and there is a NOTAM for parachuting, but obviously that wouldn't affect us in reality. At 4,000 feet, we're going to be under the Class A and above the Brize controlled airspace, which is Class D. We're going to go straight over the top of Lynham. We're going to skirt past Bristol's Class D, Frome to our left, and then direct to Yeovilton. Now we can't home on Yeovilton A. There is no NDB. Well, there is one at Yeovil Westland, but there is not one at Yeovilton, and this airplane doesn't have NDB, which makes things a bit more difficult. So we're going to hope that we can pick up the Daventry VOR at 4,000 feet for 90 miles, but I'm not holding my breath. Yeovilton has a TACAN and one ILS, I believe, but it's severe cap okay, so we could make straight in depending on what the wind's doing. We're going to stop there, drop off whatever goods that we've got, pick up 3 packs, and then head to Southampton. Go direct to the Southampton VOR for that as well. That'll take us straight over Compton Abbas. Then, however, we want to get into Southampton depending on the wind and depending on if there is any ATC. So that is our route. I thought I would go through that first before loading up. So we've done the nav aids, done the radios. We're effectively good to go. You can see it's got a pretty nifty autopilot here, which we will try out. I'm going to set that to 4,000 because we are IFR. I'm going to put do vertical speed. Okay, yes you can. So good, that works. If I set that to 1,000 feet, and if I turn the flight director off, it doesn't remember that, so I'll have to do that later. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, just getting used to the thing really. It'll be a flat 1 takeoff. We're pretty much right at the max all that way. We might actually be a little bit out of balance with the fuel that we're going to have. Anyway, let's get X economy. And see what it does for us. Still got the airplane rented, which is good. We should have 50 gallons of fuel. That's logged us in. That went a little bit backwards. 1 assignment, 50 gallons of fuel, 291 kilos. Really pushing it in this aeroplane, but let's see what we get anyway. So, mixture goes to fully rich. Let's have a look at our tanks. We should have 25 in each. Yes, we do. Let's start on 1. That should be me hitting the boost pump. And disconnect GPU, and we can get the engine started. Bring that back. I probably should have put the lamps on and shouted clear prop. Pitot heat can come on. Just pop all the lights on, saves a little bit of faff later. And I don't know what the idle setting is. I'm going to leave the boost pump on for takeoff. We can set flaps to 1. And it feels like I'm getting something. We'll put the AC on. That's a thing. The external sounds are a bit poor. What's wrong with the oil temp? We just got to get that warming up. I think we do need to set in So, I should have done this earlier, shouldn't I? I thought I had done. Oh, I set course right. Course is set over here.
Anyway, let's get going. Simpson traffic, prefect 99, taxiing for departure. I have no idea what runway I'm going. I'm just going to use this run here. So brakes off. Did we take the chocks off? Chocks are still there. So let's get those. That's what I had forgotten. Really, Yukon. Chocks away. Bump them. No, that's not going to work, is it? Ugh, that's irritating. Let's get the engine stopped for a second. Right, there we go. I won't make that mistake again. Right, that's not what you do in the real world. But hey, so let's brake off. Brakes are a little bit twitchy. Good to go. So that was a little embarrassing there. As you can see, this is like X-plane airport grass, and it's a lot easier to taxi on. Just do it from external so you can see a bit better. It still needs quite a bit to get us going. But it's not as bad as the like the non-textured stuff that is just normal scenery. So I guess that's 07. Don't know what these weird markings are. Pretty sure there is only one. There's two cross runways here. Right down to the end because it's a relatively short runway. I think it's about 900 meters. You actually struggle with it, although this airplane is pretty pokey. Quite a lot of dead zone. I mean, I'd say my throttle is more than halfway at that point. Simpson traffic prefect 99 taking off 07, 06. I'm not quite sure what runway it is. So flap set. Pretty sure the fuel pump is on. Get going. Swing on takeoff, I think, from the crosswind, which is coming left to right. I've got quite a bit of right rudder in. See, she is a powerful aeroplane. Those up just slightly earlier. Make sure we get off the ground. Trim. Once we're above about 90 knots, we'll get the flaps up. The aeroplane accelerating, flaps up, no gear to worry about. Go. My way. I should have put the transponder on, see I'm being pretty slapdash with my drills. I'm going to assume this is the A1 going past Peterborough. So now what we need to do is pick up Daventry, which I'm pretty sure was 1146. Anyway, we'll head in the rough direction of it. You can see this airplane climbs pretty well. I'm not quite sure what the best climb speed is. I'd expect VX and VY to be listed on the PFD.
120 knots will keep us going over. So autopilot functions, you've got a flight director and autopilot. So if we get vertical speed, autopilot, and oh hello, we can sync the heading, get the heading on. And that's a bit much. But let's get back to 1,000 feet a minute. Of course this would be a lot easier in reality because you've got the stick in your left hand. Controls over on the right. Yeah, it's pretty good. The autopilot's worth testing out just because it does work, which is quite cool. It works very well. Now we've got DME. So we can push standard. A little bit. Lean off the mixture. Bring the MP back a bit. I mean, this gauge here is quite good. She is pretty quick, especially for GA. I mean, not quick in the sim world, but in reality, it's pretty quick. Let's bring us around to about 240. Check the frequency for Daventry. Oh no, 116.4. See which way round I got that. 1164. Daventry identified. And what we wanted to see. There we are, levelling off. Now what we'll do is bring the power back to about 75% and then adjust mixture as well. Slightly lean. Okay. Open up the throttle and bring the mixture back as well. That gives us 40.6 if I go fully open and bring it back. That really brings it back to 12 an hour. So we've got wide open throttle, minimise the pumping losses, bringing back the mixture, quite happily trundling along now. And we're actually going pretty much directly to Daventry, which is what I wanted. Just need to figure out a way to display that. Anyway, you can see the aeroplane there. I mean, in reality, nice big windows. Okay, it's got this big thing on the top. Less than ideal. But pretty good all-round visibility. Good for nav because you've got big space in front of you to see what's coming up. And so there we are, the OR1. Set the course on there. It took me a while to figure out where that was. Course is here, and we want to actually go outbound when we get there of 220. A bit tedious with this one's a bit slow. Anyway, that's the radial we want to be outbound. But this little crosshair here is pointing direct to Daventry. See that there? So we can actually come, I think we're alright. It is quite a dark cockpit, and so even when you put the lights on, it's, yeah, I'm not too convinced about that lighting, you know, that aspect of it. So I think it'll take a bit of getting used to. It just seems, I suppose, I mean, that could be in shadow, but the amount of ambient light you'd have would be quite, you know, quite noticeable. So I don't think it would feel that dark in here. So maybe that could do with a little bit of tweaking, or maybe just a lighter interior. I'm sure the Cirrus don't just do it with this. But I mean, a really nice little aeroplane, more comfortable seats, and it's got air conditioning. It's turboed, so you can actually go up quite high in it. So we might try some of those trips. The issue is no exterior sounds at the moment. So that spoils a little bit, but you know what? I think it's a pretty good bit of kit. So we don't need to worry about icing. We're at flight level 40, heading direct to Daventry, 75% power, and like I said, true airspeed of 160 knots. So, yeah, pretty good ground speed because there's hardly any wind, most the same. And so this leg should have taken us about 13 minutes if I didn't put stopwatches on. I'd have to use my phone. There must be one. And I mean, the Garmin bits, you know, the G1000s are really good, but of course they do tend to be a lot easier to manipulate in reality rather than trying to do it with the mouse. And don't forget, like I said, using the mouse in the right hand, but a right hand stick. I suppose I could use a left hand mouse, but that gets a bit weird. So, yeah, anyway, we've got about 8 minutes to run. 16:48, 9 minutes to run to Daventry, and then 220 outbound for Naples. I have a feeling that X-Plane will model the VOR to be a lot more powerful. I don't know if the X-Plane map will tell us. But you can see here is Daventry, and it doesn't give us any information, so I don't know if it will model that to be, you know, like 200 miles. And most of the en-route VORs are modelled, which you probably wouldn't pick up. You can look in the AIP if you want to find out what the coverage is. London's are Manchester, BK is Sywell, which we are going past. Don't forget, like I said, this is completely outside controlled airspace, so you can legitimately fly this in reality without speaking to anyone. Coming up there is some Class A above us. Actually, we shouldn't be on the flight level. We should still be on 1017. Okay, so let's let the airplane get us sorted out. Not that it makes much difference though. But just to be legal, as we're passing Sywell, in reality I would call them up and you'd get a QNH off of them. We could do it, here it is, Bravo Kilo, we could do it from here, but it's obviously in inches, which is not to anybody. And here's the airfield. I haven't been there yet. My list of airfields to visit for, you know, the old $100 hamburger. BE. Why do I think that's Coventry? Don't think we're going anywhere. We're going to Coventry. We are to the south of Coventry by maybe 15 miles. So we could tune them up and listen. But I'm happy, like in reality, talking to anyone on this, I really have to. This aeroplane's got ADS-B as well, so it will pick up traffic, although in this country not everything has ADS-B yet. Unlike in the States where they've mandated it for everything. So, just coming over, we should have been a bit further to north, but we are just going direct to the VOR. There is Sywell. They have a rally they do, like vintage flying days, things like that. So they've got one decent, not quite sure how much of an instrument runway that is, but it's definitely lit, so they do night ratings and things. But at least you can see it there, and here is Northampton. So, nice bit of England, with a flyby. Wind farms, all the overlays courtesy of ex-Europe, which, yeah, there's a little bit of free stuff. I won't do too much more of the outside stuff because having stuff. Windows being tinted, I suppose, helps quite a bit. Keep the aeroplane cool. I haven't had a chance to look at the other liveries. About 5 minutes to run to Daventry. Does it give us? So 13.2, 60. So we've got the wind here, 1 knot headwind, 9 knots crosswind, which is again really useful. We could plumb in a direct. Might see if I can figure out how to put in a direct 2 on the nav in a minute. Just in case we do lose the VOR. What we can do as well is I should do to do the timer. So direct 2 would be there. test. Oh, so should be in there. You can put the minimums in. That's handy. As you can see, I've never flown with the G1000, so I don't know particularly well what it does. Although it is a good, if expensive, bit of kit. See Northampton here. What should be said about that really? It is what it is. Good place. See the airplane bouncing around. I did hand fly quite a bit last night. It's quite nice to fly. First landing was a bit of a quite nice, so we'll see if we can replicate that at Yeovilton. Probably either just stop on the runway, disconnect off VATSIM, start up again, just to minimise our time. So I did expect it to give us a time to Daventry. It just gives us distance. Probably set that. So I think I just started to see the needle move there. Could be wrong. Yeah, probably am. So Manchester Tower, London City Tower, Heathrow Tower, Thames Radar, Gatwick Approach, London. Amsterdam's on, somewhere in Germany's on. Just talking to anybody. Although we are IFR, so we should be technically squawking 2000. Put it in here, or I think you can put it in down here. 2000 out. Timer's still there. So yeah, I mean, 1000 works. 2 minutes from the VOR, bye bye Northampton. I think that's the M1. Could be wrong. Don't have roads marked on my chart, just railway lines. I probably should have them. Got my paper chart. Yeah, that is the M1, so it does actually list what motorways going over. Anyway, we'll see what the wind is doing, because of course our course is 220 mag. Now that might be off a little bit. Now I'm going to start bringing it's 5 degrees. Closer to the just so the intercept's a bit less. Start the timer overhead, and we should be then 32 minutes en route, 91 miles. We're going a little bit slower, anticipated, or than planned anyway. But yeah, like I say, for freeware, it's really good. There's the needle starting to move. So let's pop in nav, pop us on course. That'll give us a intercept. It gives us the default to. Let me try and see. Anyway, that's just going pretty much bang over the top of the VOR. So I'm going to stop. No, it's not that. No, it's going to be that one, isn't it? Yes, so there's our stopwatch. That's also quite cool and quite handy. Oh, hello. Far off, yes, we have. 225 and re-intercept. That's the thing, when you're very close to the VOR, that needle will come across really quickly. So just pay more attention to the timer than anything else. So we'll re-intercept there. You can see it's going right over the VOR. And we'll put in direct to. There it is. So
got a 10 knot crosswind, and at 180 it should be about a third. So heading wise, probably one. Something like 223. Let's see if we can't keep that there. So once we get past Banbury, I think we're away from the, we're out from under the Daventry airspace. So once we cross pretty much Banbury and the railway line, we can then go on to standard, climb a little, back to a flight level. This going a decent bit of speed over the ground, with not a huge amount of fuel flow. Got down to 20 on the left. So I think I had left the boost pump on, like you say. Oh, that's better. It is actually better with the lights on. I'm going to leave the boost pump on while we switch, which you do in reality. If there's a fuel pressure gauge, you would monitor that. There is not, but you can see which tank is being used. There's a PSI for that, but yeah, there's no word I'm looking for. Sort that out. There's no fuel pressure gauge, so I think that's really difficult to tell. Let's pump. Right, I think that's just the fuel pump off. Challenging. So there's quite a few ways you can remember to switch tanks. You can do them sort of every 15 minutes, or one of the old methods was to look at your watch, and whichever side the minute hand was on, you can use that appropriate tank as well. What you normally do with two tanks before starting up is start on whichever is the fullest, switch before takeoff and before doing the power check, so you've tested both tanks. We obviously didn't do that because it'd be a pretty slapdash. So Banbury is here. This is Banbury. So we're crossing the railway line here. So we could get standard and we will climb a little bit, lose a little bit of speed for a couple hundred feet. The aeroplane regains it, which is quite cool, so we'll maintain height for you. And as you can see, we are pretty much on track. The wind has died down a little bit, so we'll see how we get on with that. And of course we've got a little bit of a kick, a tailwind, so whatever wind there is, which is probably about 9 knots, is sort of direction there. It is what it is. Where are we coming up to on the left? So Enstone, which is where we went the other day, or was it just yesterday? So that's Enstone there. We got out to our left, Upper Hayford. That's a big car park. Must have been Enstone I went to, because that's a very distinctive old US base that is now just used for parking cars and not much else, which again is a real shame. And that's meant to be this little thing here. Reality, we can talk to Rise Radar. Try to figure this map out. So we're heading out there on, let's see, flight directors on P's on 1 Mike 1. So it's all quite clear and instinctive keyboards, which is a big step up from having to twiddle it in with your thumbs. spend a lot of time playing around with this, couldn't you? Which I suppose is really good if you do have the plane in the team. Play in a practice. To our left, somewhere called Charbury, I think. We'll look it up. Looks like a nice house, you can tell. Completely home type stuff. Quite distinctive from the air. Oxford, there's Blenheim. So Oxford Airport is out over here, just underneath the wing. See Blenheim Palace there quite clearly. We'll be going straight over the top of Bryce's airspace. Which is also fine. You can see Bryce coming up here. Much more to say. Great if I can get my map on. Once we get Vulcan and stutters down here, this will be great. So frame rate wise. See, it's hitting the frames quite a bit. So it must be relatively complex. The CPU is certainly working hard. Nice, isn't it? Good on Ortho. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see on Vulcan orbit. Just might be a bit intense with all the custom coding that they've got. So I just can't quite figure out if anyone has any bright ideas. That one. Hopefully that one. Is that saying that we're coming up to? So I think that's showing a TACAN, which I very much doubt we would be able to pick up, but I can have a try because it's 1 decimal. So you can pick up the DME from TACAN, but yeah, look, we've got no direction information. There you go. So that behaves realistically. Drifting off a little bit. So we're just going to keep that needle centered. See how we can make it last for. As you can see, there is a checklist here. Why don't I just leave this up here? Flying inspection, I don't quite know. Ooh, that's even better. Oxygen. Density out, that's really useful, density altitudes. Time remaining, that's really useful. Maybe I'll just leave it like this. How many gauges, percent power, that's quite handy. Quite like this actually. Ooh, that's also quite cool. Synthetic vision. Enhanced vision system, which I think cuts through cloud and stuff. And it's pretty cool that that's modelled. That's not listed, that's weird. No, I've broken it. Wait. Emergency. Okay, you can skip through them, that's quite cool. Guess you flick through and tick them off. Anyway, I think I'm happy with that. I mean, the online checklists are quite good, especially if you're single pilot and you don't want to have FAF. So, there is Bryce Norton. Went over that a couple of times. Been through Class D as well. Big old place.
flown in there yet. And up ahead on the nose is Fairford. Definitely been there at least once or twice. So I think we are drifting off a little. So we're heading 1 degree to the left. Never be that precise in reality. And our track is should be taking us just to the left of Fairford, which, if you're doing VFR nav, is absolutely fine, even if you're within a couple of miles. The idea of the navigation, heading and stopwatches to get you somewhere where you can get to a position and you can see. So even 5 miles off track, you should be able to see a feature if you've picked it and it's big enough. Want to go off to the left, Swindon. Going over and past that a fair few times. Some villages down here. And you can see, so there is onboard oxygen in the aeroplane. Anti-ice, put it on there, with 39 minutes at max, so you can fly into known icing in this aeroplane, which I think is modelled. So actually in the FSE game world, this one I have rented for I think about 180 dry, 182 an hour dry, compared to a similar sort of price for 172s. It's faster, can probably carry a little bit more, but the fact that it's an actual IFR machine and you can go into known icing with it is a big that's a really big difference. Certainly in reality it makes the aeroplane a lot more useful, and with synthetic vision, that sort of stuff, it really makes it quite a useful 4-seat little tourer. Not really enough seats if you've got more than 3 friends, but practically and in reality, if somebody said they had one of these that I could use, just pay for the fuel, I'd be all over it. And like I say, in FSE, this aeroplane is, as you can see, burning 12 gallons an hour, so that is compared to, you know, the Cessnas, alright, maybe it's down quite low, but like I say, it is doing 160 rather than 100, 110, 20 if you're lucky. So yeah, maybe I'll do the sums and see what we can. I suppose you can bring this fuel flow back even more, probably not lose a huge amount in speed. I wanted to see it at 75% and see how we got on. And I mean to have EGTs for individual cylinders as well. There's always one that's hottest. See it there. Sounds like a fuel pump, but I'm pretty sure it is off. Yeah, so I'd like to go one of these. We are now coming up and passing Swindon, this big sprawling urban mass of horror. I've only ever been once. Clearly there's a new estate going up here. See, the roads are in, but the ortho imagery hasn't caught up just yet. I've certainly been past it a few times on the train, and we'll be crossing the railway line along here. It's another railway line as well. I say they're quite distinctive. Roads you can get a little bit confused with, railway lines are a bit clearer and easier to see. And I think, you know what, if you're at SAT VR doing this, you probably feel like you would there. Could be really, really good training aid. Halfway, I guess if I had done it, then yeah, we probably would have used the railway line. Now, it's our halfway check to see where we were. So up here on the left is Linum, that's disused. You could also use, you tend to on your route legs pick halfway points, quarter way points, third of the way points. They're good checks to see where you are because they're nice easy fractions if you're flying at 90, 120. The maths is a lot easier to see how far along you are. You know, if you're halfway along and you should be a 30-minute leg, you should be 15 minutes. You can make adjustments based on that. We should be going a little bit to the right, but we're pretty much on course. So we should be going just to the right of line, and we're going straight over the top. And there's still runways there, and it's active by NOTAM only, which is a real shame. Chippenham will be the big town on our right after that. And then there's a big airfield at Keyville that's a glider and parachuting site that tend to give a wide berth if we go past it in reality, and use the town to the north of it, Melksham, which is coming up in about 5 minutes. Use that in reality. There's a turning point just to thread the needle between Salisbury Plain danger areas, the Bristol CTA, which is currently deactivated. Look, see it's coming up online here. I do prefer a low wing aeroplane, to be honest. The Cessnas with the high ones, yes, you can see all the ground, but you know what? I don't always want to see the ground. I'd rather see aeroplanes and have this view above us. There you go, those are pretty clearly hangars. See, I think the gate guardian there. So even though the buildings aren't there in X-plane, see them pretty clearly here. Like I said, not a turning point, just a checkpoint along the route. I think we've drifted to the left, but the needle is on point, so we're not very far off. It's pretty much confirmed by the radio nav aid. We'll look at the VATSIM map to see who's online. There's a lot of across the pond traffic, not for across the pond the event, but actually just crossing the pond. Because it isn't showing up. Anyway, Kilo Bravo. So Coventry, Kilo Bravo, is that Biggin Hill? I think it is. A fair few strange places that are online. Well, uncommon. Say strange, uncommon. So when it comes to Yeovilton, we will do a visual approach. Through the magic of my tablet and the real world, we can get the weather. There we go, met. Oh, the wind is 300 at 12. This was issued 1650 local. So as long as I've got an internet connection, if not, I have to download it. It will download it before we go flying, but if I've got an internet connection on the iPad, i.e. tethered through my phone, pick up live weather. 20 minutes ago, 312, temperature of 25 degrees, dew point of 10, 39% humidity, so it works it out on the Skydemon. Pressure 1016, Cav OK, and military colour code state is blue. So, nice weather. And we're actually probably only about 10 minutes out.
So, start thinking about a descent. 300, the runways that they've got, that's a able to. So I think 2.6 is going to favour it, that is not an instrument runway, but we'd be in a good position for a right base to 2.6 because obviously 2.6 is be in that direction. That's why using the HSI CDI can help. Probably only about 5 minutes away from starting our descent. So Melksham is this one. Kieval, you can see here, is this disused airfield here. Salisbury Plain is out here. So I've been up and down this route in reality a good few times. Only last year. It's a good little gap to thread through to get down to the southwest. We've done a trip down to Perranporth. Trip to Henstridge. Those are the only two. I'm sure I've done a few. Anyway, those buildings are looking quite good. Racetrack, maybe it's a university, industrial estate, something like that. But it does look very much what it is. Down this way. We'll be going past Longley. We might be able to see Longley. I've certainly been able to see it in reality. So once we get to Frew, it's just a bit beyond that. So we've got Melksham here. Westbury, I think, is this town. I've changed trains there a couple of times. And there's a lion on the hill. There it is. Or is it a horse? Okay, that's a horse. There's something on a hill. You can see that from the train. So Longley should be over here somewhere. We'll see as we go past. It's quite distinctive as well. Again, it is quite an easy house to see. You know, stately homes with straight roads that lead up to them, rather than the natural countryside of Wiggles and that sort of thing. A nice scenic flight. See it from over here. I think it's out in that direction. I think that's it over there. We'll see as we get a bit closer. Still no one to talk to. Hamilton traffic, prefect 99 is SR22. Approximately 8 minutes to the northeast, inbound, joining a right base for runway 26. Does it say how much fuel we've used? 9.8 gallons. That's cool. Definitely worth playing around with power settings, I think. Interesting, this keeps bouncing around between 77 and 75. It's really twitchy. Straight in for a runway. Oh, is that long lead? No. See what I mean about looking for roads. I think that's long lead. There it is. Yep. That is long lead. Big straight drive up. Safari Park Lake. That is it. Some photos from seeing that in reality.
sort of in a valley. A couple of car parks, can't really see it that well. But having been over that way before, a bit closer, quite distinctive. Anyway, we're about 5 minutes out. Join. Runway 26, that means that our crosswind will be about 2/3 of the wind speed. And what did we say? Getting there. $12 knots, so an 8-knot crosswind. Let's see how we go with it. Not really much else you can do. It's 300 at 12 is sort of right between two sets of the runways. So we're about 5 miles out, just keep heading towards the airfield. Should be able to see it, there it is. You can see that we are inbound 04, and then we would have all of the wind across. I don't know what crosswind is in this. So we're going to head towards, make a left base, head over in that direction, then a right turn. Sorry, we're going to make a left turn onto a right base and make a right turn onto final. See how we get in? It might be a bit messy. It won't be perfect. But we'll see. So this turn up here should be Castle Carey. A railway junction there, looks like I can see railway lines, so I think it is. So like I say, on a J like this, even visual nav, if you get within 10 miles, how far out are we? About 10 miles out. Even if you get 10 miles away, you can often see, you know, big airfields and big key turning points. You can see things like the A303 and the railway line, along with the Haynes Motor Museum is down here, because I know that, but you know, that's a good turning point, a railway line, you know, 2-line features, that motor, that dual carriageway junction is quite distinctive. You could use that. Yeovil itself is down here. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking about descending. The mixture, reducing the power. Let's get the pump on. Swap tanks. A bit high now, to be honest. A bit much. Trim is somewhat keen. It's telling us that we left our assigned altitude, which is fine. We are well and truly high. Let's see if we can sort this out. While I pop 7 in. Right, let's fly the aeroplane. I think the airplane will come down pretty quick. idle throttle, mixture fully forward. Vehicle traffic, prefect 99 entering right base, runway 26, full stop. Which can leave the descent relatively late. All we've got to do is use the HSI CDI, whatever you call it, to get that. It's like a DI, but this time it's slaved. 2627 roughly on the beam right hand there. It's down here is where I'm looking, and we're doing a base leg. Flap limits are 110, so we could go to one stage of flap at this point. Got a nice AOA indicator as well, which is useful. Whoa, well and truly early and a bit high. We might be able to land, stop on the runway, and then go from the same runway again. So that was a bit of a sketchy circuit. Vehicle traffic, prefect 99, final 26, full stop. So let's go one stage of flap. You don't really hear it move, but you can see the pitch change. You can certainly feel it. Below 90 knots, touchdown between at around about 80. See how we get on. So let's get the speed off. Very high. Go full flap. Drop the nose, and you see she goes down like a stone. Stupidly high, but hey, he made it.
Airspeed.
There you go. I do a bit quiet with, you know, like touchdown squeaks, that sort of thing. Get the flaps up, get the brakes on. It's just very twitchy on the brakes. Ugh. Do. Okay, brake set. And in that case, where is the fuel pump? Something like that'll do. Shuts down a bit in there. Hello Ben, good to see you again. That is our flight done. Okay, flight time 56 minutes. That took a bit longer than I thought. Guess we should have tried it at about 85% power, but quite conservative with the fuel. So I'm going to end that flight. Complete that flight. Happy. Go to Southampton now. So I'm going to load that flight plan. We are going from Echo Golf Delta Yankee to Golf Hotel India. It's going to be 16:30 by the time we're about airborne. Cool. We are going from Ilverton to Southampton. Probably could do that at 3,000 feet. We will do that at 75% power. electrics, IFR, VFR. And we have, does it tell us 38 gallons of fuel. Should only be a 20-minute flight, so we can do it with the fuel we've got. Should be 20 minutes. I've got 8 gallons, so I think at least 2 hours of fuel. Do 3,000, go direct. Oh, I can't file that flight plan, but never mind. So, should be able to take 3 passengers off to Southampton. So we'll take off. I think we'll do an immediate left-hand turn. One thing that I should do is pop the GPU on so we don't end up discharging everything. Parking brake, oil pressure, happy, fine. Pop the flaps down so we're ready for takeoff. Don't think they like doing it. I don't think they like doing lap up takeoffs in these. We'll make sure we start that in a minute. The electrics are on. How are we doing for fuel? Right is the fullest one, so we can get the mixture fully rich. Boost pump can come on, we are therefore effectively ready to go. Just got to start the engine, get fired up and get on our way. So, go. 3 packs, 38 gallons of fuel. I did say I was going to cheat the Southampton VOR, didn't I? I should have done earlier. That's 3, 5. Okay, let's get transponder on. Parking brakes on. Figure out what course we need to do as we get going. Make off. Was it like the RPM today? Oh, 1,000, I guess. Yes, there we go. So we can stop that, reset, start with. So full power. Lamps are set. Off we go. Good stream. I wouldn't say it's that great a stream. The FSE way is an interesting way of flying to make sure we're not above 90 knots for those flaps. That was a bit quick. Or damper comes on by itself. Okay, so let's get flap up now. We're going east, so we'll be 3,000 feet. Hello, a bit twitchy, stuttery. Still climbing pretty well even in this turn. Let's actually keep climbing. I'm going to head east initially. Get the aeroplane sorted out. A little bit sluggish in roll there. There we go, that's just picked up Southampton. So we should be able to just peg straight direct to that. Let me try climbing at 1,000 feet a minute initially. Where's our nav? I don't want to. No, I don't want to approach this way. Heading, I was pretty sure that I had done vertical speed. 1,300 is fine. Altitude to 3,000. the aeroplane sets them down, that would be a lot easier in reality. But we are not going east. Shut up. Head east. Press the centre. Then we should be going past Henstridge, which will be to our right. Off over here. There's that junction that we talked about on the way in, that's pretty distinctive. Crossing a railway line, good two-line features crossings, good to see. And we can now think about setting course here. We just rotate this round. We wanted to go inbound 090. Drag it. No, it's the mouse wheel. Genius. The inbound 090, 270 radial is going to be there. But we're actually inbound 095, which will pretty much do us. We are getting a little bit of drift. Still at full power, that's my fault. Even at full power we are struggling to get the quoted speed, so I'm going to leave the throttle and start bringing that back. We'll see if we can get 75% power. What that gives us, there we go. See the speed start to drop off at probably about 160 overs. Anyway, we're pretty much directly towards Southampton-ish. Let's see what the wind was like, 350, so that will favour, which runways have they got here? 02, 30 degrees off, half the wind will be crosswind. 0 at 6, negligible. Anyway, so 06B, we don't actually want to make direct to the VOR because it's to the north, but we are going in the right direction. See how far away we are, 41.2 DME. Doing a true airspeed of about 160 knots with a little bit of a tailwind. That's really useful. But again, no one to talk to, so we'll just stay on Unicom. Henstridge is here. We're flying right over Henstridge. But like I say, I've been there in reality. We did a stream or two from there. Quite a nice little place. I'd recommend going. It's got a nice little cafe and a little clubhouse down here. Is ahead of us, and I thought an ATZ that we would technically be just going over the top of 2,800 feet. That's been no-tamed as deactivated. Sarum has. It's still there, just didn't show on my chart. I had it in IFR mode. So yeah, Compton Abbas is here. It's a little grass airfield. Unlike Henstridge, it does have an ATZ. It's just up here. Should be just to the right of our track on this ridge. Is it a bit difficult to see in the sim? No, there it is. There you go. You can see the hangars, so it's a little bit difficult to make out because it's a grass airfield. Apparently there's a very nice cafe there, but I haven't had a chance to go yet. Once I start flying again in the real world, see if we can get a GoPro, we can do some trip streams, maybe try some video editing, speed up these boring GA VFR trips. So we are drifting slowly away from Southampton. Probably use the VOR to mimic an approach on the way in.
centre is on line 1271, but they're probably not going to talk to us. Gatwick Tower, Gatwick approach. To talk to us. So we'll stay with you. Well, if London South comes online, they might want to talk to us. We get the pump off. I don't know if that's even managed it. Aside from the wear on the fuel pump, it's not going to do damage. This is Shaftesbury. Just see Compton MSB going past. Right over the top. There it is. And you can see the Ortho, you've got all those light aircraft lined up. There's a passenger. This wouldn't be an idea. I wouldn't do this low, this close to it in reality. Because you can see how busy the place is in the summer. See the numbers on the graphs from the Ortho, which is good fun. Anyway, Southampton is only about 10 minutes away, so it's probably about 15 minutes to landing. It's almost too fine-grained. I can barely control that even with a decent throttle. I need to calibrate it if that's even possible. Didn't even start with timer, didn't really need to because it was just a direct 2-leg. Southampton traffic prefect 99 is Cirrus SR22 inbound from the west, just past Compton Abbas, 10 minutes to run, expecting a visual approach runway 02. See how we go on with that. There is any traffic. Fresh. That's a radar. Well, we've got 2 arrivals. We are 1, and the other is UK. KB. Who is that? Where is that Callsign? Anyway, they're coming down all the way from Glasgow, so they're not going to be here anytime soon. There is airspace for Southampton, but seeing as there's no one on to control it, we're not going to be talking to anyone. But in reality, we'll be speaking to Soap Radar, who cover Southampton and Bournemouth. And I think we're pretty much good for long final join for 06 in this position. Runway 02. Just have a look on the chart. 20 magnetic, so what we could do is, knowing that the VOR is, well, it's actually just a little bit offset, so I'm not sure you can use it as an approach A. Let's have a look. So, Southampton 02, there is an RNAV approach. There is a VOR DME approach. And the VOR DME approach is 030, so why don't we just sort of kind of fly that? So if we set course to 030, give us the final approach course. Down to that VOR. We're probably not going to be 6 miles out, but we'll probably be about 4 miles out. And we can fly towards it. The minimum would be 530. The missed approach point is 1.2 DME. Not that we're going to need it, but we can have a look and see what it might look like. We'd start at 3,000 down to racetrack 1,700 outbound. So set 1,700 in anticipation for that.
Eastern version. But it's the same 030, so do a direct arrival. There is a hold, and of course you wouldn't be doing it. Actually, no, 3000 is okay, but you'd have to do the procedure if it wasn't VFR to maintain terrain clearance, etc. You should know exactly where you are and you're happy with it. So that'll give us some guidance on the way in. And we'll probably be able to land a little bit long. Taxi via Bravo Alpha is probably a little bit too short of a landing run. And you can see we're just under 20 miles away from the VOR. That's just measuring distance straight to it. And 160 knots. That's going to take how many minutes? Ground speed of 160. If you take off the last digit, that means we're going to do 16 miles in 6 minutes. And another third on 2 more minutes. Gives us approximately 20, doesn't it? So you can just do quick mental maths to get a rough approximation, and that will do you good enough. Like I say, it's designed to get you somewhere near to where you want to be so you can see it and fly to it visually. Coming up on the forest now, I think that's what this is. Could be wrong. Solar radar in 5 miles. It gives the 12023, if you remember from the other night, it was 25. So they don't have 833 on VATSIM. Realistic frequencies would be nice. Stony Cross, I think, is this the thing over here, which is the LP. They were told to report that the other day in the Vision Jet. But as you can see, runway 02 is sort of here, so we're almost on the base leg anyway. And with the wind as it is, we're not far off tracking it. We've probably got about 3 degrees of drift. It says what the drift is anyway, does it? Southampton traffic, prefect 99, passing just to the north of Stony Cross VRP, making for a left base join runway 02. Not that there's anyone else here. Try and remember to call them on final. That's about it. You can see Southampton and the port. Titanic left there, cruise ships leave there. You can see the motorway. There's a VRP over here somewhere as well. Junction 2, not sure what for. And sort of very much mistaken. Struggling to see the airport in all the clutter. Start bringing the power back a bit. Mixture's gone fully forward. Let's go back to about 120 knots. Start descending down to 1700. See how we get on. There is the motorway. rendition. Like I say, you can see you can see the port quite clearly. You can actually see from the Ortho cruise ships docked. Could have been on one of those. Definitely berthed up here. Descending at a relatively decent rate. May end up a little bit high. So we can start bringing the speed back. 5 miles away from the airport. Well, from the VOR anyway. Let's just see if we can maintain about 110, 120, just sort of hovering in the white arc is quite nice, so we can get flapped down if we need to. Wait for the VOR to come in. You can see that's pointing directly to the VOR over there. Traffic Prefect 99 left base 02 full stop. The Eels should start to move soon. You can see the football stadium, isn't it? The football stadium. No, just the car park.
Unicom, Golf Bravo, Golf India Bravo, 10 miles south of north of Southampton, routing along the coast to Newquay.
So let's get flap 1, drag the aeroplane in a bit. There's the VOR coming alive. Good time to start the turn. See the runway from here. Actually, that was a bit of a quick turn. So it'll be an offset approach course as we come in. Just leaving our assigned height. Southampton Traffic Prefect 99 final 02 full stop.
Traffic that's inbounding Cadoc's flight level 350, what time we expected there?
So let's keep it coming down about 90 knots. So you can see as an instrument approach, what was it, 1 mile? 500 feet was the missed approach point. We'd be sort of somewhere here. And again, that's designed to get you braking out of cloud, somewhere where you can see the runway. Fly straight in because the VOR is offset. Still high, I'm going to have to work on these approaches, aren't I? So let's get the power all the way back. Dirty dives to get back on the glide slope. Full flap. Anticipate the drag from that. Keep it coming down. Don't really want to be much lower than this with the road and that tree in the way. See how offset the VOR is from here. Rescued an approach from that. A bit twitchy in pitch. It flies quite well, and then it's just really, really twitchy on the ground. Really can't touch the brakes, so that's me using the rudder to keep the aeroplane straight, but as soon as you touch on the brakes it's awful. Really difficult to control. See, that's trick. It was alright. Maybe we'll have a look at a replay in a minute. I'm sure I've done better. Southampton Traffic Prefect 99 runway vacated. Okay, let's leave off the VATSIM. Let's come to a stop here. Below. On there. engine stops pretty quick. X economy, we can finish that flight. What did we go from? 33 gallons, 23 minutes. Cool. That was fun. So, what do we need to do? Probably should have switched tanks prior to landing. Not bad looking aeroplane. So, got those funky landing lights. No, if that's a landing light, it's got those funky ones on the tips. I forget what they call. Let's have a look at the replay. So we logged off that. Let's complete the flight. Project fly, we have done it. Don't know how well it works in play. Oh, it's all right. There you can see my terrible approach. Early with kicking off the drift and a bit of a thump. And then all over the place on the ground. But I tell you what, guys, why don't you get it and tell me how you find it. Bit of an early flare. A little bit flat as well, but hey, wasn't all bad. Anyway, I'm gonna go make myself some dinner and then maybe think about doing a trip in Zebo later. It's been updated. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something different. All I can say is this is free. Just get this aeroplane. It's really good. You know, I mean, it might not be perfect, but it's really good. And I think I'm going to be doing as many trips as I can in it because it moves along. It's pretty slippery and it's just quite a good bit of fun. Unless I find something better like a Premier Jet. Until then, I think it's well worth a play. Single power lever, only the mixture to worry about. Turbocharged, so you can go quite high in it. So maybe we should try and do a bit more exploring, some short but high sectors, or maybe some hot and high stuff because it would be good for that as well. So yeah, get a hold of it and have a play around. It's really good. Anyway, until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I hope it wasn't too boring. If you wanted to learn anything, I hope you did, but feel free to come back with any questions. Have a read up on things like Visual Nav and then come and ask me questions because I can answer about it rather than try and explain online, which is a bit difficult. But yeah, please have a look, have a go, and until next time, thanks for watching. Take care, and bye-bye for now.